Here I thought that the version 1.4 was going to be like the peak of the 1 versions, you know? And after 1.4, everything was going to slow down all the way until the 2.0, but the oil keeps cooking like non-stop on every single update, and here on 1.6, they're still doing a really great job. We're still eating good, and here today I'm going to make a quick overview of everything they released on the 1.6 special program. So let's start with the agents, because I know this is exactly what you're waiting for. We have SAnby on the first half of the 1.6 being released together with Pull-chra. So SAnby is going to be an electric attacker agent, which some of us even thought about a Harumasa power creep. And oh my gosh, I don't want to start dooming poor Harumasa, but oh my gosh, what is this? What is this gameplay? It is definitely not as easy as Evelyn, as you can see, but she's bringing a lot of cool things and some new mechanics to the game as well. This new mechanic is called Aftershock, so it seems that it's something that only SAnby, Pull-chra, and Trigger have access to, which is basically some sort of additional damage that it triggers on different scenarios. SAnby has access to this, Pull-chra also has access to Aftershock, Trigger also has Aftershock on their kit. There's a lot of interactions with Aftershock, for example, SAnby's signature weapon, which they also showcased on the special program. That's right, you can see most of the information here on the screen, and it is actually quite insane. The amount of crit damage this is going to give for pretty much any attacker unit, it is actually insane. The value this engine is going to provide is just massive. For the additional ability, SAnby is only going to require either stunner or a support unit, so overall super flexible unit, and slightly better than Harumasa that requires you to use an anomaly or a stunner on your team. So overall, as you can see on your screen, SAnby looks like a combo character, but I don't think they're going to make like another hard to play DPS just like Harumasa. We're going to need more information on her actual gameplay and maximum damage optimization, but let's leave SAnby hype a little bit and start talking about Pull-chra, because Pull-chra is going to be our A rank stunner, but she offers a lot of potential, and honestly speaking, like, she's completely out of the scale when compared with SAnby, for example, which is the only other A rank stunner. Pull-chra is completely insane. Not only she has access to the same Aftershock mechanic, which basically allows the character to keep dealing damage, or in this case damage and daze, since Pull-chra is a stunner unit, while you're controlling another unit. So this is actually super interesting and quite insane actually. And the most insane point here is the fact that Pull-chra can actually trigger quick assist. Yes, you heard it right, you can see on your screen, Pull-chra is triggering quick assist. She's an A rank stunner that has access to off-field damage and daze, and also triggers quick assist to your DPS unit. It is simply insane value for any DPS unit. Overall, super excited to see the damage and daze potential Pull-chra is going to give to the game. I talked before, like on the first impressions, that I was expecting her to be a burst stunner. However, she's actually more of an off-field stunner, which was something that I was actually expecting to only exist on Trigger, but they simply decided to give this burst off-field stunner archetype even to Pull-chra, which is actually super insane. But let's leave Pull-chra aside and start talking about Trigger, because this one, oh boy. Trigger is going to be another off-field stunner. So basically, 1.6 is bringing 2 off-field stunners to the game, which makes the whole Zenless Zone Zero gameplay super interesting. I can't wait to see how things are going to fold in the future, and I actually have another video that I'm going to be working on it later tomorrow, talking about the future of Zenless Zone Zero combat, because trust me, they are doing a lot of great things for the game. But anyway, let's focus on Trigger. Trigger is going to be another off-field stunner that can use this purge, the second resource, as you can see on the top left corner, to trigger Aftershock attacks. These Aftershock attacks happens whenever the on-field unit hits the enemy with basic attacks, EX special, yada anything pretty much. So as long as you hit enemies, Trigger is going to do an Aftershock attack, dealing damage and daze to the enemy. Of course, Trigger is also going to get some quick assist when she uses the finishing shot, as you can see on your screen right now. Stunners getting access to quick assist is insanely good. It's like a whole new level. Being able to swap in between units and make this whole off-field thing, quick swap mechanic mechanics, super interesting. But anyway, the most unique part comes right now. Trigger is the first unit that actually has some kind of damage taken multiplier. Yep, you heard it right. It is actually stun multiplier, but the thing about the stun multiplier that Trigger applies to the enemy is that it's active even if the enemy is not stunned. That's right. You're going to get a final 20% damage increase as long as Trigger is in your team. So this is completely insane levels. Imagine like getting a final 20% damage on any DPS, even when outside of stuns. This is basically a huge buff for any sustained DPS unit because you're just getting a raw 20% final damage to anything. You don't even need to feel the stunner anymore because it's just insane. I know that I said that like Chingy was not going to get power craft by Trigger because they're probably going to feel different roles, but look at this. Look at how insane it actually is, the fact that Trigger can increase the damage even before stunning the enemy. Now sadly, we didn't have any information on Trigger's signature weapon, but yeah, for Soldier Ambi, as I mentioned before, lots of crit damage, probably even better potential than Evelyn's signature. It's just going to depend on how much crit rate you can get access to. Can't wait to get hands-on and do some calculations on her numbers. But of course, hype aside, there's still a lot of content that they are bringing to this version. Oh, and by the way, we're getting reruns, of course, in the version 1.6. We're getting Bernice and Ju-Yuan as reruns. So if you want either of them, the time is now. Bernice is still like a real solid anomaly unit. No idea if the afterburn from Bernice is going to be considered aftershock, or maybe in the future we're getting maybe a DPS unit that can interact with afterburn, because like aftershock, afterburn, you know, maybe we can get like a fire DPS in the future that interacts with afterburn as well. Quite interesting thing. So let's wait and see how things are going to be in the future. I don't know too much about Ju-Yuan. I can't say too much about her because I feel that right now we're getting a lot of attacker units that can deal even more damage and have better gameplay, better scaling gameplay than Ju-Yuan. But if you like the character, also feel free to save your pulls for Ju-Yuan because she's finally getting a rerun just like Ellen got in the 1.5. Now the really cool thing that we're getting in the 1.6 version is the addition of 2 new drive disc sets. We're getting Shadow Harmony and Phaeton Melody. So Shadow Harmony is pretty much going to be the Soldier MB disc set. The 2-piece set effect gives 15% damage to aftershocks and dash attacks. Dash attacks can be quite interesting for Harumasa, but the problem is that this 4-piece effect pretty much you need to use Trigger, otherwise you're not going to benefit from the 4-piece effect, because it says that you need some aftershock or dash attack that aligns with the equipper attributes. So in this case, we're talking about electric damage, and the only sources of aftershock right now is like Soldier Ambi, Pull-chra, and Trigger. It means you need to run Trigger with Harumasa, you know, that's it. You can get up to 3 stacks, and each stack is going to give you 4% attack and 4% crit rate. So at the end of the day, if you decide to run this on Harumasa, for example, you're going to get a total of 15% damage on your dash attack, which is the main source of damage anyway, and you're going to get a total of 12% attack and 12% crit rate. It is quite interesting, but I have no idea if it actually beats sets like Hormone Punk on some good optimal rotation or even Thunder Metal. So maybe this can be slightly better, maybe not. And for the second set, we have an Anomaly set, which the 2-piece set is going to give 8% Anomaly Mastery, which means another new source of Anomaly Mastery, because outside of this, the only source was disc 6. Now we're finally getting another source of Anomaly Mastery, but the 4-piece set is actually super interesting. Whenever any squad member uses EX specials, the Anomaly proficiency of the equipper increases by 45. And if the character using the EX special is not the equipper, then you get 25% ether damage. Now, this has a lot of implications, and I'm not saying implications for actual characters. I'm saying that it makes no sense to release some kind of off-field ether damage set when we don't have such unit. Maybe Astra, of course, but I don't think Astra is going to benefit from this when her build-up and anomaly proficiency is like really bad. So maybe we are getting an Ether Anomaly unit on the next patch, which can be quite interesting actually, especially because Ju-Yuan is getting rerun on the 1.6. So hold your horses before pulling Ju-Yuan, wait for the drip marketing on 1.7, and Yeah, that's it. Not only we're getting a main story, we're also getting Soldier Ambi and Trigger's agent stories as well, a new boss material to the game you can farm on HIA. But anyway, let's talk about the rest of the event and quality of life improvements they are bringing to the game. We have QoL Zero getting another update. That's right, we're getting a new boss to QoL Zero, and oh my gosh, this boss fight actually looks amazing. And now you're going to be able to pick between fighting Bringer or Geppetto as the last boss on the QoL Zero. You're not forced to fight against the enemy if you don't like the boss fight at all and just want to keep fighting Bringer. Also, Hoyo, please consider adding a no UI mode to the game. Like, come on, you're doing some really insane good job to the game. Now just add a no UI mode so players can, I don't know, record some really cool footage, you know, from the game. Please? QoL Zero is also getting new gear updates, you know, these unique gears that allows you to get access to new moves for some units. Astra, Evelyn, Jane, and Corin are getting new gears on QoL Zero. Astra gear, by the way, kind of makes her exactly like Nubilet Genshin Impact. It is just insane. Here I thought we're getting like Robin, Honkai Star Rail. No, we're getting Nubilet from Genshin Impact. More gears, so if you like any of these characters, feel free to check them out on QoL Zero because they're going to get some extra moves. So pick up your favorite character and go have some fun on QoL Zero. They are definitely like adding a lot of content to QoL Zero, like non-stop. On Trigger's TV schedule event, we're also going to get some mini game, as you can see. Some kind of mini game that you can play with Trigger on your screen. Pretty cool stuff. I love like alternative minigames. Sometimes you just want to take a break from whatever you're doing. We're also getting a limited event that adds some kind of new camera position for the game. I actually love this one. If you ever play like top-down RPG games, I really hope they can add this like as a permanent option for the game. I don't know. It just looks really amazing and I can't wait to play this event because playing like with this top-down camera, it just looks insanely cool. Look at this. We also have the classic random events that we usually get on every single version. For example, Bang Boo photo shoot events. There's also some HIA combat stuff, and also Pull-chra with some delivery stuff, which is basically just fulfilling requests. Text box, text box, text box. You know the drill. And of course, finally, the double drop events, the usual same one that we always have, both on HIA for those looking to farm some extra materials, and also on double disc drops for those that are looking to get better discs, myself included, because my Miyabi apparently sucks. Everyone's like leaving this kind of comments for me, and I know it sucks. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the quality of life improvements that they are adding to the game in the version 1.6. And starting from HIA Expert mode, they are adding a new mode called Burnout, which doubles the amount of battery you're going to use, but you get double the rewards as well. It is not a double drop, it's just making it faster for you to farm all the materials that you need for the current S-rank agents available in the banner. I don't know why they decide to add this, but I think it's like a cool addition anyway. So they are also adding another really cool feature for the window that appears when you're trying to enhance weapons in the game. Because before, when you hit the current level cap, the window closes, and it's like really sad because you need to open up again, upgrade the weapon, then open up again, add experience and things like that. It is super bothersome. So now instead they're simply making a single window where you can see everything. Even if you hit the cap, it is still going to stay open and you can just click it once again to upgrade and keep adding experience. It's way better, huge quality of life improvement for leveling up weapons. For those that use the special training plan that you can kind of track down what materials you're going to need, they're also adding some changes that showcases how much of the current goal you manage to farm. It is like minor addition, nothing like real specific, but for those that use this system, I personally don't use it, so for me it makes no difference at all. But for those that use it, it can come in handy since you don't need to keep tracking of everything inside your head. Let me know in the comments down below which new feature from the 1.6 special program excited you the most, because honestly for me, I think that Soldier, Ambi, and Trigger, like the new limited units, are just a whole new level. It's a whole new level of gameplay for Zenless Zone Zero, and I can't wait to see them in action once they release. Anyway, that's it for the 1.6 special program. Feel free to check the Discord in the link down description, where I usually chat a little bit about things like this, theory craft, and also early access to calculations, and help with Deadly Assault, other things as well. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya!